見たことない色です。
キュアキュンキュンをイメージした新色だそうです。
Kokoro, I hope you understand what sort of company you signed with. They're gonna monetize your name for all it's worth.
問題なんか何もないよ。結構いけるもん。
We open this week with the intro, of course, adding in Kokoro, which is appreciated, as it is just nice to see the whole core team together now. Entering into the episode proper, Nana and Uta were looking for their resident fairy of gluttony. She turned out to be hanging out with Kokoro, who, after the last episode, was insisting her senpai refer to her just by name to really emphasize the fact that they were now part of the same team, or probably in her mind, the same idol group. However, apparently even that wasn't quite enough, as she tried to get an even closer look.
そんなに見つめられたら、私も。
Oh no, furry shipping. This episode was written by Yoshimi Narita, wasn't it?
Well, actually, no. This is written by a new writer to this franchise, Yuniko Ayana. And looking into her filmography, yeah, the series was pretty much made for her. On top of acting as a secondary writer for Aikatsu and Idolmaster Cinderella Girls, she was the head writer of Local Doll, Bang Dream, and Idolmaster Saidam, the one with the guys.
Though personally, I know her best as the head writer of Kiro Mosaic, one of my personal favorite slice of life anime, with some Yuri subtext.
俺の嫁になれ。とか？やめてよ、バカ！
And then there was her magnum opus of just straightforward Yuri with flip flappers.
だって、好きは好きじゃなくて。何？
Why, yes, that is in fact Minami Takahashi using the exact same voice between Kokora and Nana.
In short, she probably has the ultimate combo for this show, having written for Idols, Yuri, and Magical Girls, as along with Flip Flappers, she also did the Evil Lieutenant anime. Though, fortunately for this show, I think she's gonna lean more into the King Hero side of things, as Kokoro had more curious Alice vibes to her, as she wanted to research her senpai a little more. Interestingly, she did distinguish how this is different from her research for her club, which she considered to be more casual, while this was likely her taking her new quote-unquote job as an idol Precure more seriously, which, considering that also involved being a superheroine, yeah, good on her. Also, yeah, I can probably guess who uploaded this video.
Social media is a different kind of super heroine for you, isn't it?
This, of course, led them to bringing up the queen and realizing that they should introduce her to Kokoro. They also took this opportunity to do a little recap of what they had accomplished and were trying to accomplish throughout the series by collecting all the ribbons and restoring the Fairy Kingdom, which makes sense as they do have a new member on the team. Though frankly, the best part of this whole scene was the queen being the ultimate passive-aggressive monarch.
次にアップリしたらもっさもさどころではありません。
There's a certain magical girl who wants to show you her RPMs.
Anyway, to learn more about each other, Uta suggested that the three of them have a sleepover at her place. And as it turned out, it was the first time for both of her guests, who end up coming with a lot of luggage that you really don't need for a sleepover.
ナナ先輩も？ココロちゃんも？
Again, the writing of this episode is very Kiro Mosaic, with Ayana focusing on making the characters really quirky, which does work as they don't go over the top like with Flip Flappers, other than with a few darker jokes.
The Cures later went grocery shopping for mackerel curry ingredients, which yeah, I'm also surprised is actually a thing. And we got some cute development for Nana when we learned about her favorite mascot, who I get the feeling we'll see a little more in the future. I mean, it was certainly better than learning about how much of a leech this fairy was. Later, the real research began after the girls got out of the baths, and Kokoro insisted that they do a private photo shoot.
ステージでお二人がキラキラしてるわけを探ろうと。目が
I mean, I don't think I even really have to say anything here, as the episode itself is spelling it out so big that the people in the back can see it.
Actually, she wanted to use it as material to help her design some pretty blatant product placement, as if we didn't have enough of it in this episode already, but it's for a cute narrative purpose, so we'll let it pass. Anyway, since she hadn't made one for herself, they of course figured that they should just take some pictures of Kokoro too. However, this ended up attracting Mrs. Sakura's attention, who was about to discover her daughter and friend's kinky hobbies.
夜なんだから騒がないようにね。
Little late on that, lady.
With that, they managed to make a Kyun plushie in less than one night, which, yeah, of all the things in the show, I'm gonna call BS on that. However, the bigger issue was that Purin was feeling left out of the group, which, hey, unless you actually become a Precure yourself, you'll just have to deal with it, Baldy. Meanwhile, the Choki gang were okay. I'm actually starting to get surprised at how much they're getting away with in this episode, between some of the darker jokes and these guys and their drinks. I mean, yeah, they're villains, but they're also clearly getting plastered. Anyway, Zachary was ordered to take care of the newest Precure by dawn. And as it just so happened, and even during a sleepover, Kokoro wasn't going to give up on her morning exercise routine, which is legit impressive. Like, in all seriousness, good on her for encouraging healthy habits. Would say the same thing about this jogger lady, but she was also just gonna be the obvious victim of the week. Then, since she was of course the first one on the scene, Kokoro tried to deal with the Makaranda on her own. This led to an impressive and pretty fun one-on-one, with this first sequence at least having been confirmed to have been animated by Hikaru Koga, who also did some of the more impressive chases from Wonderful, which was very appropriate this week because, well, Jogger Monster.
Well, could have been worse. At least you're not fighting a Power Walker monster.
But yeah, it managed to take advantage by purposely wearing down Kokoro's stamina. Fortunately, Nana Uta soon arrived on the scene, and the three proceeded to have a really good fight. Again, beyond just Kiro Mosaic, the writer of this episode did also have experience with magical girl fights, like with Flip Flappers, and the animation here was just really good to boot. And of course, Kokoro dealt the finishing blow. With that, they got another ribbon that Purin didn't put on. I guess they'll save that for next week. Not that I really care, especially if she's just going to work again. With that, the episode ended with even more blatant product placement, this time with accessories for Purin, which, again, to be fair, was for plot reasons, as it was all stuff meant to help the fairy feel more integrated with the team. I mean, again, short of her actually becoming a cure, this is probably the closest she'll ever come to becoming a true idol like them.
This was a bit more of a fillery slice of life episode, but it was the kind I really like.
For me, I can really like slice of life stories when the characters have actually fun and very relatable interactions.
Which again, considering this writer's body of work, it made it pretty much ideal for this show.
If you've ever slept over at a friend's house, then you should know what it's generally like, in that people mostly just putz around all night. Girls, boys, it don't matter, they just goof around and have fun with each other. And that's what I like about Ayana's more slice of life writing. She knows it's not just about the cutesy stuff, though she does write a lot of it, but also that friends do mess around and make fun of each other. It makes their interactions all the more organic, and in turn makes the moments when they come together all the more wholesome. The best example from this episode was everything they did with Purin, from rightfully messing with her after she kept invading their privacy, to when they made her gifts to make her feel more part of the group. While again, there's certainly debate to be had on whether or not she deserves to have friends and gifts like this, it does highlight how this is a tightly knit group of friends who knit together. And on that note, there was a lot of good comedy, complemented by some pretty funny faces throughout. My personal favorite bits were some of the more mean-spirited and darker ones, like the Queen's not-so-subtle threats, or Kokoro averting her eyes while she was taking pictures of her friends in slightly skimpy outfits. To top it all off, and to keep it in the spirit of the Flip Flappers, they also went all out with the animation, especially in the fight this week, with some really fun and over-the-top action. So, overall, this is just a great first episode for a new writer in this franchise, who I'm looking forward to seeing more of this season. Needless to say, Kokoro's idol research will likely continue, though hopefully she won't take it too far. Didn't work out too well for Suga.
Thank you for watching, and if you want to do your own research, well, we don't mind if you source some of our other videos on this channel.
Starting next week, we are going to expand our own research to include a different team of singing magical girls who will take up priority since they are the new ones.
Look forward to Princessian Orchestra next week, and until then though, for now my friends, and Karen, can you save it for after I'm done recording?